All right, people. It's that movie that you've all been waiting for. That Valentine's Day, Black History Month classic.
A goofy movie.
A goofy movie.
It's the one. The one. I don't know, Kev, I don't know about you, but like this is the movie that I played out, man. Like I watched this VHS more than any other tape I had. Yes, I said VHS.
I really forgot how much of my childhood, how big a part this movie was.
Yeah.
And not just this movie, because watching this movie reminded me that there was a TV show that this movie like basically was an offshoot of.
You didn't remember Goof Troop?
I didn't remember it one bit until I watched this, and I was like, oh, yes. Goof Troop with his buddy Sam and his wily next door neighbor, right? Sam.
Pete?
Oh, Pete. I thought Pete was the dad, but okay.
Pete was the big
the son.
No, Pete was the big cat, the mean guy. And
is he a cat? I always thought he was like a bulldog, but I guess he is.
Yeah, he might be. I don't know. Whatever they are.
What animal are these people?
This is a whole thing, man, because if Goofy and them are dogs, then what's Pluto? You know what I'm saying? That's the this is not what the show's about.
The question for the ages right there.
Post in the comments.
What is Goofy?
But yeah, it was Pete and then Pete Jr., I think was his name.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
Peach.
I don't know where I got Sam from, but so this interesting side note, I was joking with that opening, but apparently in my Google research of this movie, it is considered a classic among it's like the first black Disney cartoon movie or something. I don't remember exactly what the words were, but a couple of blogs took that stand.
I think just because they had Tevin Campbell in it, and then this movie had so much, it had a beat to it, and the songs were so good. It wasn't like show tuny. Yes. Maybe, I don't know, but the characters weren't black. Maybe Powerline was. I think Tevin Campbell was, but yeah.
the Powerline songs in this are great.
Oh, fire.
And I think that I have to believe that the only reason those aren't like songs you still hear on the radio from time to time is because they were attached to the Goofy movie. People did not take them as seriously. The Hi Dad Soup moment, I remembered it for a very specific reason. In this movie, they heat up the can of soup using the cigarette lighter. Jeez. And from that moment on, I always have wondered, I was like, would that cigarette lighter be hot enough to actually warm up a can of soup? The answer is no. But,
listen, man, give it a shot. You never know.
They don't do cars. They even make cars with those anymore. I feel like no.
I don't know. I think they still have that outlet, but I don't know if it's. I don't know. I haven't been in a car in a minute, or I'm not balling enough to be in a car made after 2012.
Elon Musk, if you're watching this, do you make Teslas with a cigarette lighter in them?
Post in the comments, Elon.
Yeah, post in the comments and donate to my PayPal, Venmo account.
Please.
Either one.
We'll go in one of your shuttles. Just give us some money.
I'll be a slave worker on the moon or Mars or wherever you're going in exchange for a comment on this YouTube video.
I'll take. I'll watch.
So what were the things? So going into this movie, I know this movie, you had a lot of strong memories about it. What when you sat down to watch it again surprised you?
The fact that it was a musical. You know what I mean?
I think I do.
I remember, you think of a Goofy movie, you remember the songs, you remember the Powerline songs, but I didn't realize that in scene 2 that Max breaks out in the song with the rest of the town, and they do that 4 more times throughout the movie. I forgot that completely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And those songs, I saw this movie did not get great reviews when it first came out, which really surprised me. Roger Ebert gave it 3 stars, but for the most part, other critics did not like it. And one person actually even said in their review, not memorable songs. And I can only imagine that he's talking about it in the context of like, oh, they weren't show tuney, kind of like big numbers, like, you know, Under the Sea or something from Beauty and the Beast. And I will grant you that the songs that Max sings and like the non-Powerline songs aren't very memorable, but the Powerline songs, the songs that Tevin Coleman sings, are great. They're like pop hits by any standard.
And, you know, I mean, he might be right that they're not memorable songs because clearly we didn't remember it, but they're not bad. They're just, I think, contemporary or modern at that time, I guess. I don't know, whatever. That guy's a hater. He's a hater.
One thing, so I didn't remember much about the plot of this movie other than like the really broad strokes. I knew that there was a road trip, and I knew that Max wanted to go to a concert, and at the end they end up at the concert and end up on stage. But I didn't remember a lot of the story, and I didn't remember a lot about the characters. And I have to say, one of the things that I was most happy about in like the first 10 minutes of this is it opens up and Max, Goofy's son, he's a little bit of a social outcast. He's not like hated, but people don't take him seriously. They think he's kind of a dork. And he pulls this stunt on the last day of school where he basically hijacks the principal's address to the student body and does this Powerline impersonation performance that can only be described as a both performative and technological masterclass on how to give like a guerrilla performance. It was incredible.
Amazing.
Like his dance moves, the camera work, the effects.
Smoke.
It was amazing. And one thing that I was so happy, because I was worried, I was like, oh, I do remember this. I remember he gets caught and he gets shut down and he's like flying and he gets detention. And I was worried like people are going to be like, oh, it's the goof kid. He's a loser. he got shut down.
Hey, it's the goof boy.
But no, that's not what happens. What happens is what absolutely would happen in real life. He was a hero.
King.
To the student body.
They made him king, man. Like he was on top of the world. He finally shed that goofy persona, showed people that he was his own man, did his own thing, and then he gets home, meets up with his dad.
It's a vacation with me and my best buddy, Donald Duck. Oh, silly, with you.
And his dad's like, nah, we're going on a road trip. Because his dad got a call from the principal and was already afraid that Max was slipping away and was heading for a fast track to prison for some reason. Because Pete got it in his head. Who was a bad person, by the way? Pete the cat.
Well, Pete's a bad person, arguably. But also, the big question I have about this movie is Goofy a bad dad? Because... well, the first thing, right, what you were talking about, like the principal calls him and he's like, your son's going to end up in the electric chair.
Yeah. In the electric chair.
Great performance by Wallace Shawn in limited screen time. But, like, Goofy doesn't even ask him, well, what did he do? Yeah. Because if he understood what he did, he'd be like, "Oh, that's kind of awesome."
He's not a bad dad. He probably shouldn't be a father because he's goofy, but he's a good father. Pete is like making his son like wash the floors and do like just like back-breaking work, literally kick over a bowling pin that he missed. That's a bad dad. Goofy's just goofy, and he shouldn't be a father, but he's a father, and he loves Max, so he's all right. He's just needed to ask a little bit more questions. He needed to trust his son a little bit.
Yeah, I think that Goofy is always well-meaning.
Yeah.
But he doesn't always listen and he doesn't always take in what's going on around him because he's too busy with the pratfalls and the Goofy.
He was driving with the map in his face and they almost crashed into a truck. It's not really in tune with the world. So Max, he goes home and he's riding high, thinks he's gonna meet Roxanne at the party. He's finally got her to go out on a date with him, but Goofy, afraid for his son's life, forces him into a cross-country road trip with his son so that they can bond and so that he can save him from a life of crime. And Max is he's not happy about that.
It makes for some awkward road trip moments. A fight over the radio between Powerline and the song High Hopes, which when this movie came out, I had no idea was a Frank Sinatra song.
It was?
I didn't realize that until I honestly rewatched it this time, and I was like, that's a real song, isn't it? Because it sounds so corny.
There are a lot of cameos in this movie. I don't know if you know the song, like musically and character-wise. There's like Mickey Mouse. I think there's a little allusion to Chip and Dale. The Bee Gees are in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Staying Alive.
Joel Travolta.
Yeah.
A Bigfoot doing his best Travolta impersonation.
There's a lot going on. But yeah, after they break the radio, musical number 2, On the Open Road.
Oh yes, it's like it's the Bjork "Everything Can Be Music" song where all we need is the keys and the roads and the tires, all the sounds. Yeah. Dancer in the Dark. Is it a good movie? No, but I just referenced it for anybody who cares to know. One question that I was wondering throughout this movie is. Where is Max's mother, and what was the custody battle like between Goofy? Like, what was her state that they're like, you know what? We need to put this kid in the hands of a responsible adult.
I mean,
Goofy, take him away.
Yeah, we could get dark and say maybe she passed away, but moms don't exist.
No reference to it, though.
I feel like there are like a lot of Disney movies don't have moms in it. There's always just dads that are just incompetent.
Little Giants.
At
least in that they did us the favor of having them
she
sit down
left
and us. Talk. It's like, when your mom left us, she didn't just leave me because I'm a loser. She left you too.
At least they explained it right. You're right. They didn't do that in The Little Mermaid where King Triton was like, yeah, your mom walked out on us, Ariel. Yeah. Sorry. So, what'd you think about the possum scene?
I was just gonna.
I thought that was hilarious.
The possum scene. I first of all really vividly remembered it once it started. Mm-hmm. I love the little girl who's just screaming yada 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 in the show. It's the sort of thing I would hate that if I was like Max's age. Mm-hmm. But as an adult, I would be like, this is such rustic charm.
And yeah, that little girl, that was like very much like they captured something there because everyone knows that little girl that doesn't know the words to the song, but she knows she likes the song.
She's having a great time.
She's gonna sing. She's gonna sing through the holes in her busted grill.
I always have felt bad for the mascot of. I remember that he just gets the crap beat out of him by these children totally mercilessly, and he's just out there. He's got this big smile plastered to his head. He just wants to please the children, and the only way to please them is with a blood sacrifice, apparently.
Oh my god.
I don't think he got out of that suit alive. Yeah,
when I was a kid, when I first saw that, I didn't clock immediately that he was a mascot. I thought Max just slapped his neck backwards. I was like, oh my god, Max killed him, and then he walked away, and then the little kid swarmed him like Mufasa in the Antelope in Lion King.
I mean, yeah. It's Max. You don't need to take out your anger in such a violent way against
He was asking for it though. It was a rough day he was having. After the possum scene, Max is like fed up. You know, he and Goofy have their first fight, and it's raining, and then it cuts to them. They're like in a creek, and Goofy's setting up a tent, and Goofy steps up. Max is drawing Roxanne in the water. It's very sad, and then Goofy steps in it, and he just looks at Max, and it's just like he's so sad. He's like, Max, I could teach you how to fish now if you want. And he just looks, he's like out of breath, and he's, you know, just really just reluctant to talk to his son that he knows hates him. I thought that was really sad, man. I remember feeling sad as a kid too. I was like, oh, why is he breathing so hard?
This movie has the moments that gets you, even as a kid. Yeah, watch it. I remember like the Hi Dad soup scene. You feel so bad for Goofy.
Yeah.
Because you're like, he's just so clueless, and he just wants to, you know, have this connection with his son so badly, but he's doing everything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's why his wife left him.
Yeah. She knew that. She's like, Max, you're beyond help here. You're gonna have to be strong, and
you're on your own, kid.
Another thing, to take it back for a second, I was also really refreshed to see kind of the new take on Max's relationship with the Roxanne, the girl at school who he likes. They kind of sort of get together right at the beginning of the movie. Like they make it very clear that she likes him and like he's aware of it now. It's not like this sort of whole quest the entire movie trying to like win this girl's interest and affection.
Right.
And like she finally notices him in the last 10 minutes. It's like, no, like right from the beginning we know that like, all right, these kids, like nothing needs to be proven to anyone. And I thought that was refreshing as well.
Yeah, no, that was really good, man. It just spoke more of like how shitty of a time Max was having, because he's just like, oh man, she does like me. I don't have to do anything. I'm great. I'm golden. And he's just stolen away by his dad, who he's afraid of becoming. Because like throughout this movie, he laughs. And the yucks start coming in. He starting out with the yucks.
Yep, and the nose and that opening nightmare scene.
Yeah.
It's great. It's something right out of a horror movie.
It was pretty bad, man. It was pretty vivid. But Max, he does the unthinkable. He changes the map so that instead of going to the campsite where they were supposed to be going, they're going to LA. They're going to the Powerline concert. He's going to get to the Powerline concert so that he can go out on stage and wave to Roxanne like he said he would. It's a bad moment for Max, man. It's bad.
It's understandable though.
Oh yeah,
You know?
100%.
First of all, it
100%.
wouldn't even be in that situation if both Bigfoot and his father didn't snore
Yeah,
very loudly. So
for sure.
And apparently there's nothing you can do to stop that. Like he couldn't be like, stop snoring. No, you just have to endure it.
Also love how the writers, they didn't say or mention how they got out of there. They just cut to the next scene. Like, all right.
Well, Bigfoot left
Okay.
at some point. He got bored.
He left.
I mean, it begs the question, why was he there? Why did he sleep there in the first place? Doesn't he have like a cave or a hut or something? I don't know. Bigfoot usually doesn't. He hasn't stayed a secret for 200 years by sleeping on people's cars.
That's true. That's true. He's 200 years old. Wow.
Yes. Next Wednesday, actually.
Good for him. Happy birthday, Bigfoot. So yeah, Max does the unthinkable. He betrays his dad's trust, but along the way, they start to bond. They're going to baseball games. They're going to Big House of Yarn, another dog
It's
joke,
the
I guess.
good time. It's the good time montage.
A good time montage. There you go.
Every road movie's got one.
I think 4 non-blondes are playing. Or was it 3 non-blondes? Whatever.
It's 4 now.
It's 4. Okay.
The
it's
band is. I don't know if that was what was playing, but yeah.
No, it wasn't. But that's the bond. That's the.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait,
oh, son.
who sings the song like? I'm walking on sunshine. Who sings?
Oh,
I'm walking
that's
on sunshine?
Katrina and the Waves.
Oh, my bad.
I'm walking on sunshine. Yeah, 4 non-blondes are objectively awful.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, all right.
When one thinks back at the pain and suffering of the most terrible things, you can only be set to the soundtrack of 4 non-blondes. I use it in all of my films, like Gile in the Wrath of God, in the frozen tundras of the north with happy people. Unfortunately, the movie studio will not pay for the rights. So I, Werner, must only think about it in my soul, my black dark soul. The howling haunts me. 4 non-blondes. Jeez, that's
Chilling.
Thank you for that, Werner. We weren't expecting you for this.
Thanks for
This
showing
this
up,
was just
man.
this was such an uplifting film. I wouldn't think Werner. I can be uplifting too.
Yeah, we invite Werner to these podcasts to do it with. This is a 3-person thing, but he only talks for like 1 minute of it, and each time he just one-ups us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What was your favorite part? Like, what did you relate to most, Werner, on this whole thing?
Stand out above the crowd, even if you gotta shout it out. Tonight is the only thing you'll need. Sorry, I get emotional. You got to stand out. Stand out. Yeah.
That was a chilling rendition. I like how you changed the words ever so slightly too, Werner. You made it your own.
Thank you. I'm nothing without the text. I'm free to interpret it whichever way I like, no matter what copyright laws or infringement deigns to sue me. Disney, come for me, Werner Herzog. Not these boys, Kevin and Devin. This is Werner. I'm leaving the room.
Thank you, Werner. Wow.
Right. I appreciate him standing up for us like that.
He really did. That's huge.
You can say a lot of things about Werner, but he's not afraid to go after the big dogs.
I'm not afraid.
Oh, he's still here.
Thank you, Werner. Thank you.
Thanks, man. The most action-packed part of the movie, where death is involved. Yeah.
That's how the song starts.
Oh, yeah. That's the part. Like, yeah. I was talking about when they fall off the waterfall, though.
Oh yes. And he does the perfect cast.
The perfect cast.
Because he was actually listening.
I didn't think people could die in
his
this
dad.
movie because like the mime had like a piano dropped on him. Goofy fell from like crazy heights throughout most of this movie, but like this waterfall, this was about to be it. But you know, they save each other using their bond, using the lessons that they've learned about each other throughout the trip, and they embrace. And then, yeah, you go. Thank you. Don't sue us, Disney.
I don't know the words. I don't know the first line. I think I know the word. Stand out above the crowd.
Yeah.
Even if I gotta. Don't want to sing it. I don't want to get sued. We already get copyright blocked for every friggin' Disney video we post. We don't
Really?
need to make it any worse for ourselves.
But we pay for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
We should.
I've been watching WandaVision.
Yeah,
I got my
man.
subscription to Disney.
Does that not count for anything, Disney? What more do you want from us? You already have our childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, but anyway, great closing out number to the movie.
So good.
Really satisfying how they do the perfect cast and Powerline digs it and immediately can do it even before he like finishes doing all the moves.
Yeah.
But that's because he's just a great dancer. I mean, I buy that.
That's Powerline, biggest rock star in the world, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's honestly such a, like you said, is probably one of the best ways to close out a movie, man. They just kill it together on stage in front of everyone. Everyone wins. Max is on stage. He waves to Roxanne. Roxanne sees him. Goofy has a great time with his son on stage. It's great. It's perfect.
It really is. It's just, I have I would sit down and watch this movie again tonight if I was so inclined. Like it was a really, really enjoyable watch. Some very good songs, some like whatever songs, but it doesn't really drag much. Just when it would start to drag, like it gets to that concert, it's amazing how fast it gets from the concert to, or like from like them being on top of that car in that river, and then they're just at the concert. And I think that is like a really wise choice by the makers of this movie. Be like, let's just cut all of like how they got to LA, how they got in the venue, how they got backstage. No,
sure.
They're just immediately backstage at this concert.
Yo, in watching this, I never made this connection before, but I could not look at Goofy and not think of Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? They had so many similar sensibilities, even in the dramatic moments, the sad moments, you know? It seemed like that's kind of what they modeled him after in this movie.
I see it with the physicality, the personality. It doesn't. I didn't. Want to make the connection.
Yeah, the physicality for sure.
Yeah, just the long, lanky, big kind of pratfalliness of it all.
Yeah,
it was reminiscent of Jim Carrey for sure. So Devin,
no, this didn't ruin my childhood, Kevin.
I was like, do I even need to ask? It didn't ruin mine either.
Hell no, it enriched it.
This was a treat.
Yes, this is.
I want to sit down with my nieces and nephews and watch this tomorrow, but I won't do that because we are still social distancing.
Still, I can't wait to show this to the future generations. Pass this down. It's good, man. It's great. This is a great movie, and I can't believe it flopped. And you know, they made this initially. They didn't want to make this. They made this out of like kind of like a contractual agreement or whatever. Blah 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 blah. This movie killed it for like the specific age range, like when it came out. Like it's all millennials love this movie.
Yep.
And
I'd
we
say
will
if you were between the ages of probably like 8 and 15,
32.
8 and 14, when this came out, you were a big fan of
Yeah.
this movie.
If you were a kid or just a big Tevin Campbell fan, it's the movie for you. Honestly.
Two of his best 5 songs. Objectively
Hey,
speaking.
Hold on. Well, yeah, he's got some.
He's just saying. Like, I mean, I'm not. That's not a
true,
put
that's
down
true.
on the Tevin Coleman catalog.
Tevin Campbell.
Campbell. Oh, Tevin Coleman's a football player, and like I've been thinking all week, the Tevin Campbell catalog.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, they're legit. I think, in particular, "Stand Out." Is that the name of it? Is a really good song.
That's the first one, and then
Yeah.
I Do I is the second.
Yes, I to I spelled capital I, numeral 2, capital I.
Really?
It looks like 121. Yeah, look it up.
Yeesh.
Oh, I've been listening to these songs all week on Spotify.
Oh man. All right. Well, damn. I'm gonna go watch this movie again if you don't
All
mind.
right, me too. All right, have a good one, everybody.
Peace.
See you next time.